Hello, we are back for part 2 of Blade 68. We've got our group of militants ready to mess up the Lusk Reform Clinic and their operations. I did a little quick Googling of names of anti-war movements, and they tend to either have very exhausting names like Student for a Democratic Society or Vietnam Veterans Against War, or National Mobilization Committee to End War in Vietnam, which are very long and often just get shortened to their acronyms. Or, their organizations, not that the Black Panthers were necessarily specifically just anti-war, but they were anti-colonialism, anti-imperialism, or they just take names that they identify with, like the Black Panthers. So, yeah. That does not equal a suggestion. It was just thoughts that I, quickly Googled and put together. Tim, you're muted.
I was also muted. I love a long name that then is shortened into an acronym that may or may not make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're okay if the acronym is like, existing real world ones, SDS, MOBE, VVAW, like,
yeah,
it doesn't need to be like SWORD, where someone spent like a lot of effort making sure the acronym is also a cool sounding thing.
I mean, if we had the time to like just brainstorm that, like we could workshop something, I'm sure, but I don't want to spend all of our time doing that. But I like the idea of like the Duskfall Association in, concern of the preservation of et cetera, and then it's like way too many letters.
Duskfall Association Against War is DAAW, which has a little
door.
Yeah, has a little like sounds okay come up now.
Yeah.
I like that. We can just go with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we say Duskfall Association Against War?
Yeah.
Maybe we should put in another word like before war, like specifying something. I don't know. But we can go with that.
I feel like this is a conversation that our characters have literally had a lot.
Wait.
This is the name for now.
Naming anything, yeah. For sure.
Once a week. It's who put rename the group back on the agenda?
100%. Let's do some character questions. So, if you go to the page in the book for your playbook, each one has a little list of questions. So we'll go around in a circle.
For the crew or for the characters?
Character for your playbook.
Okay.
Yeah. And these will just give a little bit of background to your relationships to each other. We'll go around in a circle, and then on the second round, if you want, you can pass. I mean, there's only 3 of you, so I guess doing it twice probably makes sense. And then you have a little background to each other character. I mean, we kind of know that already, but I think it's still worth doing. So we'll just go clockwise from the top. So if you have it up there, Sean, do you want to start with one of those veteran questions?
Sure. I should probably have looked at these. Oh, God, that's a brutal one. Okay. Presuming that we have done some violence up until this point, I'm going to play on my cold. Deadlock and say, which of you was unable to pull the trigger? So I did it for you. That really fits this character.
I don't think my character's that much of a fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to push that on you, but that sounds like your character.
Yeah, that sounds like my character a lot.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I feel like that might have been the thing where it sort of made me feel like our past of me invading your mother's homeland is not like forgiven, but like it's somehow there's some scales being balanced there. I don't know. At least in Hollis's head. Yeah. Cool.
Hollis is fighting his own demons, and he's, taking it out.
Oh yeah, Hollis's head is full of demons. But I'm gonna go ahead and just so I remember, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in.
Yeah, put in your notes or something.
Oh yeah, somewhere. Good idea.
Make a note of that somewhere.
Yeah, and that was Kitty. Tim, do you want us to elaborate on these, or is it fine just for time's sake if we just answer it.
I think for time's sake, just answer it. We can elaborate if we feel it needs elaboration, but I feel like that kind of paints a bit of a picture anyway.
Yeah.
Even if we don't know the exact scenario.
All right, Karen, I got the hound questions up.
Okay. Sorry, I was chewing. I like that. Which one of you came to me as a client with a case?
I think if I was coming to you with a client with a case, it would be veterans not getting their pension payments. Like veterans getting cut out of payments. I think that's the kind of case I would have brought you before we were a crew and everything else, like early on. And I feel like that could be, but I don't feel like super strong about that. Mo, do you imagine Kitty?
I think that's more fitting with what Cross does than like my frivolous bullshit.
I like the frivolous bullshit. I like the idea, like before we met, you went to a PI for something to find out if you're, if someone you were interested in is cheating on you.
Oh my God, my brain just went to the same place. Actually,
I think that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
because we sort of talked about how someone, like, I can't remember who we decided, but someone sort of brought this military use of hulls to Cross. So it would make sense if there was already a pre-existing relationship there, right? Like they kind of know about Cross from some other.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely could have been either one of us as well. Specifically. Why don't, since I've already got a strong link to you, Kitty, by way of your dad, why don't how about that be me? Is that okay?
Perfect.
If I knew that I brought to you the case, that like the information about hulls being used for military use.
Sure.
Do you like that, Karen?
Kind of. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, we had talked about earlier that we all came to that information independently.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, let's stick with the Kitty.
I like the idea that we like all went to some like community activist meeting and all left feeling really unsatisfied and then decided to form a gang.
Yeah, I dig that. I dig that. So let's go with the. I like, because it seems like you're way more excited about like the Kitty coming to you, which is like petty dirt shit.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
If that's okay, I don't want to I don't want to put Kitty in a box of being like, interested in like less important things, but
yeah, I love that. Kitty, how about you?
Oh yeah. Find that dirt on this one girl that I was talking to and see what is going on with her.
Figure out who is she seeing someone else. What's going. So like I had to like tail this girl.
Yeah. I mean, that's mostly what real private eyes do, right?
So I did it. I didn't push you away, be like, nah, go figure it out. I was like, sure, give me your money.
And Kitty did pay, so like
yeah. I way overcharged you.
And she does not notice at all. Do you ever
tell Kitty that you overcharged? One of those things where I was like, what is your budget? And you're like, it's this much money. I was like, cool, that's exactly how much this will take.
What do you know? Go figure. 4 stacks is my going rate for finding out about this.
Yeah, for tailing a poor college kid.
Cool. Nice. All right, Kitty, what question do you want to ask?
Oh yeah, let me like my questions. I love these questions. They fit the genre so well. Oh my God. Okay. Right. I think both y'all don't think I'm a serious person, so I'm not even gonna ask that question. Which one of you trust me as a true professional? Yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I was going to say, I'm so ready to be your competition on the dance floor.
I knew you were going to say that too, so I was like, I'm going to hold that on to later.
I mean, I guess that's a really good question. Like, what has Kitty done to show that she actually cares about this, and this isn't just her like current like fad? Like, what would make any of us think that she's going to stick with this? Because I think we believe that, but like,
I definitely want our characters to both take Kitty seriously as a person. You know, like at least in terms of like this cause.
Yeah, I just wonder what she would have done to sort of cement that.
Because she's, I would say the face, or like you've seen her talk to a lot of people, and like they just connect with her and they confide in her, because she just has this way of just like getting to know someone and like just communicating, and they spill secrets, either be like, you know, having a confidant or an ear to listen to, or sharing a bottle of booze. Like, she can get people to talk, and she talks to people.
Yeah.
So I think
that could be Cross.
Yeah,
see that and be like, oh, that is a skill.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Cross trusts me because I think Cross actually, you know, because Cross watches people. That's
and I like the idea that when we first met, I brushed you off, but now I'm like, I take you more seriously.
I like that, how that history has changed. Yeah. All right.
Do you want to double down and go backwards? Like, do you want to do the dance thing, or do you want to do something else?
Yeah. Why don't we cycle back the other direction? So pick another one.
I think it's either the dance or the big party. I think the dance one, because they go to the same club.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I think I would answer yes to either of those questions.
I know.
The question is, I mean, it really puts a different spin on it. Like, I imagined Hollis going on the dance floor being really high and just like dancing to like try and like let off energy that is like, so as like a channel that isn't violent. And so I kind of imagine Hollis as being like not a dancer that was like paying a lot of attention to necessarily others, but I do kind of like the idea of competing on the net, like seeing someone else.
Like, yeah, I mean, we have like this weird. Kitty doesn't recognize it. It's all Hollis that has like this projection of like this weird like relationship between them because of Hollis's history and like, you know, the trauma of being a vet. I think Kitty just sees him as like her dance rival.
I
think
her
dance partner, one of the two. Like, I think they'll like cut a rug.
Yeah. And like Hollis has sort of an unfair advantage that's also a disadvantage, which is like he has these like weird sparking leg blades that like, you know, can let him do sort of ridiculous things, but also like cause him a lot of physical pain if they're on too long, and also malfunction sometimes. So I can imagine being called a cheater. I can imagine some fun with
yeah, like that.
And I also like that there's something sort of playful that we have as well. It isn't just all super serious. Cool. All right, Karen, what do you got?
Well, I think we know. I mean, this will default to you as the answer for it, right?
I think that's sort of the inclination is to have each of us have one connection. So yeah, ask a question you'd like me to answer. Yes to.
Yeah, I like the question, which one of you poured out your sorrows to me at the bar last week?
Yeah.
That fits.
I think that really fits.
Would Hollis tell Cross about his feelings about like his like weird feelings about like Kitty and like her job, or is that more just like
he did last week?
Yeah.
Last week.
So here's a fun thing. Karen plays a character in her improv troupe, Party Onward, which is a fantastic D&D inspired improv game called Reckon, who's like, I've got so much dark backstory, but don't ask me about it. That like clearly wants to be asked about it. And she's playing off of this toxic trope.
Third Saturdays in Oakland at All That Comedy Theater.
Yeah, come third Saturdays at 9 p.m. And I was thinking about that a lot when I was making this character of like, how emo am I making this character? and I don't want him to be the total loner. Like I wrote under keys, I wrote distant, and then I removed it. I'm like, no, I'm not playing a character who is like, he's got a lot of trauma, but he doesn't.
Maybe you've overcome that distance.
Yes, I think so. So yeah, I think I do talk to.
I love that. Yeah.
Talk about it, and I think I do be like, the kid doesn't know the shit that I did.
I love how she's the kid.
No, she's totally the kid.
I love the idea though, like, and again, Tim, the writing this thing last week is so good. Like we just had this oversharing where I finally got to hear more about you, whether I wanted to or not. And I'm guessing not for Cross. I do like the idea that she just has one of those faces that people overshare at the bar, and that's why she doesn't often go out.
I like it. All right. That seems perfect. So now I got to ask a question that is basically directed to you, Karen. Wow, there's some really good ones here. So Karen, which one of these is a more interesting question to you to answer yes to? Which one of you is my drinking buddy, or which one of you pities me? Like, I see that same situation going either a couple different ways, and I feel like depending on how you felt about, because I think we drink together normally. So maybe we're drinking buddies and you were there to support me, or maybe I just always saddle up to the bar while you're there and you're like, oh my God, and you pity me. Like, I feel like
I don't want to pity your character.
Okay.
That doesn't seem like Cross doesn't spend time with people. She pities.
All right, then I think
so we can absolutely be drinking buddies.
Great.
And I think that the reason that she liked being your drinking buddy is because you didn't get too drunk and overshare, but then you did last week.
I did last week, right? So normally
it was like, have a drink, stare at our drink silently, be like, good talk, see you later.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Lots of like knowing nods.
Yeah.
Cool. I dig it.
One too many. Love that.
Oh my God. So I was thinking like maybe I didn't pull the trigger and like that happened and then the drinking happened and then you just spilled your guts. Okay.
Yeah, I think that all happened. That was the same night. I think it was a week ago.
Cool.
We killed somebody.
Oh man.
Dang.
And I pulled the trigger for Kitty, and then afterward spilled all my beans.
That's cool because that's putting us right in the spot where we're like, what are we doing, you guys?
Right.
Like, are we killing people? Is that really what our crew?
Yeah, I think it was hold on, who was our lowest faction? Hold on. Our lowest faction is
it's either the palace or the
Blackthorn Park,
yeah.
You know, we really haven't introduced Blackthorn Park yet, so I think Blackthorn Park came sniffing around us to try and figure out what we were doing, and they got like somebody like figured out everything we know, and Kitty caught them, and it was an ugly fight, and she had a gun to their head but couldn't pull the trigger, and I did it. And I think that's, if I hadn't, or if we hadn't, they would have, revealed, they would have known everything about us. Like, they got into our base, they got information we could not let them have, and we were protecting ourselves, or at least that's what Hollis tells himself.
There's a Blades 68 name generator.
Oh yeah, I put that in the chat. That's just the one from the book, but
Oh, okay. I was just saying, like, did someone already create that as a fan thing?
No, I made that for my own purposes, but sometimes it's useful. It has some extra names in there.
Oh, I was thinking of names for our cohorts.
Oh yeah.
I literally just saw one and it said Jag Cooper, and I was like, I'm keeping that in the name bank for later.
Do you want that to be one of our muscle?
That's a good name.
I will type it in the Jag Cooper.
Yeah, let's use that. I had Kayla as the other name I had in mind.
I love it.
Fun.
Okay. Jag Cooper and Kayla.
Got pronouns for them?
Jag is they, them.
Jag. Oh my god, I cannot. Jag, Cooper, they, them. I think Kayla uses she, they.
Great. So the last step is to go through crew questions, which are basically like your role in the crew. So these are on page 104 for the militants. They are: which of you first suggested forming a crew? Which of you is the most devout believer in the cause? Which of you is the most cynical about the cause? Which of you has the most personal grudge against an enemy of the cause? Which for you is either the military or the reform clinic? Which of you knows the streets best? So the kind of streetwise one who deals with the criminal factions and stuff. And which of you has the most to lose if you were to go to Ironhook? So you just choose one each. So I guess.
Oh, we don't answer every one of them. We just answer. Got it.
Yeah, you each just pick one. So it's kind of your place and things.
I like the question, which of you first suggested forming a crew? Because I do have this picture of like we all had this information and didn't know what to do about it, and saw there was some other like student activist group or something that was meeting to talk about whole liberation, and it was all just like, let's make some posters.
Yeah.
And all of our characters are like, no, we actually want to go like
do something.
Break something. Like we actually, are
hungry to do something more. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to do something more. And so we all kind of walked out of that, and just, I think I would have recognized Kitty because you had been a client before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, and maybe we all found each other like across the street at the diner and just started talking.
Yeah, and only murders in the building kind of start of like all three of us.
Yeah, exactly. We all go to the diner. We all were like, "Oh, you thought that was bullshit too?"
We all went to Chuckleberries. Come on.
Yeah, we all went to Chuckleberries across the street.
Chuckleberries.
It also makes sense because it's your office, so it makes sense that you would be the one who would be like,
"Yeah, hey, why don't you come to my office? We could talk about this more."
Yeah.
Cool. So that's you. That's Cross.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be me that said like.
I think it makes total sense.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
It could also be Hollis.
No, I think
I mean, it could be any of us that is like, we should do something more, and the rest of us be like, yeah.
Hollis isn't really good at big picture leadership stuff.
I was going to say Cross feels the most sort of put together an adult. No offense to the other two characters.
Sure, I'll take it then.
Yeah. Kitty, I think you should take what has the most loose if you go to Ironhook. I feel like
I was thinking that one.
I feel like if you got caught, in general, like Ironhook or not, just like if you got caught,
Dad's gonna be so mad at me.
It would be so bad.
It's gonna be so bad.
Like, I feel like I could get caught and I could serve time and it would suck, but like, you haven't lived the hard life yet, and like you shouldn't. Yeah.
And I'm also like, again, she's early 20s, so
yeah,
early 20s, prestigious family, like.
Yep.
I'm going to take then which of you has the most personal grudge against the enemy of the cause. I was a soldier. I did horrible things in the name of the crown, and I lost friends that still haunt me today. For them, and they don't care, and like, I think at the beginning it just started with like, I'm just mad that they don't care, and it's transformed into like, I'm mad that we go to war in the first place, and like that that personal anger has turned into like anger at the system, and so it's very personal for me.
Cool.
Cool. Those are all the questions. Anyone else got anything to add, or anything else on crew creation or character creation? I think we hit everything, but
I'm just gonna check over crew creation real quick, make sure there's nothing we're missing.
Oh, and I named my car.
Oh yes, what's her name?
Her name's Scarlett.
Ooh, Scarlett and Charisse. I love it.
What color is the upholstery if the outside is red? Is it red upholstery as well? Oh, nice.
Cherry red with a black like a black velvet, chrome finish, disco ball hanging off the mirror. I'm still thinking of the impressive like bit to it, but like it'll come to me.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, on some level, it just looks impressive as well, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty car. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't think she drives it often, especially to night market.
There might be a lot. There might be a parking lot that we have in the office. I don't know if that's a crew upgrade or not, but
no, I think you can have a parking space.
Yeah,
that seems reasonable.
Because if it's parking space, it's fine. If it's parking on the road, she would not take. She's not bring her car around so often.
I'll just throw out to my fellow crewmates that that we probably don't have the opportunity to go for claims because Tim's going to open. Usually we start with a cold open where Tim kind of just like the GM just like, here's your score for the first one. But the two types of claims that are adjacent to us, if we do end up doing a second score and we want to go for a claim, is turf, which is just turf, what it sounds like, or donations, which is gives us more reward if we do battle or demonstration type thing. So just a future thought. We could actually go for any claim we want, but the further away it is from you, the harder it is. So as a starting crew, those are some initial things we go after. And it's always important to know that whenever you go after claims, you're taking it from somebody who's going to be unhappy about it. So I think we've got everything else.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. So let's just cut straight to it, I think, if that sounds all right.
Love it.
Oh, real quick, should we change our names on here?
Oh, yeah. So go ahead and I have to do a thing. Okay, so now you can edit, when you go to edit your name, you can edit name and headline and put your character name in your headline, and then it'll show up below here. Nice. Love it.
Yeah, great. So, yeah, good call. I don't think we'll get through the whole thing tonight, but we'll kick it into a cold open, which is like, I sort of think of it as like a mini score, kind of start right in the action. Then next time we can finish that up and move into personal business and downtime and free play and stuff. But we will do this cold open and move from there. So just to kind of set it up a bit, I think where we open is, so you've been together for, I guess, a week, maybe a bit longer, but it's been a week since that fateful day where you killed the Blackthorn Park operative and had the big night at the bar and the rest of it. You have some negative connections to the two sort of spy agencies. You have a positive relationship with the kind of Black Panther-esque Boone Corps. And your local ward bosses are the Scorpion Syndicate, who are this Severosi massive, sophisticated drug smuggling operation. And that's kind of your faction relationships at the moment. So where we're going to open is you have a meet and greet with Scorpion Syndicate. You gave them a stack of cash to kind of improve their relationship a bit, I think.
We did.
Yeah, you did. And so they kind of want to repay that kindness with a little bit of a meet and greet, and that is in two parts. So one part involves being invited out. So the boss of the Scorpion Syndicate is a man called Chago, Chago, and he's the boss of that faction. And you've been invited out to his luxury, like Bond Lair base on White Crown Island, which is across the channel, and it's where the wealthiest of wealthy people live. So a bit of whining and dining and entertaining out there for half your crew. So one or two of you out there. Meanwhile, the other one or two have been invited for a tour of their main. So they are a smuggling faction. They smuggle drugs in from Severos into Akaros, and they do it via airship. So they have a bunch of airships. And you have been offered a tour of one of the airships. Obviously, you're not dealers, but this is kind of part of Scorpion Syndicate, I guess, trying to impress you a little bit. And obviously, this isn't of interest to you, but of interest to them is whether, you could be drug mules or their interest in you is, can you move product for us or what have you. They don't care about the ideological stuff, obviously. So to kind of begin with, I guess you sort of need to self-select yourself into those two groups. So one group is meeting with the boss, Chago, and one or two others being given this tour of the airship high above Dosfall.
I think I'm on, is it the Storm Surge?
Yep.
Yep.
The boat?
I think I'm on a boat. Yeah, I think I'm on the airship. It just makes more sense. I don't feel like I'd be in a posh White Crown thing. I think I'd be looking at the airship and sizing it up, and
I'll be at the meet.
Yeah, Kitty will also be at the meet because that
makes sense. Okay. All right, so Cross and Kitty are at the lair, and Hollis is by himself on the
Cross can take my
airship.
car. We're taking Scarlet with us.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, that's great. You got two vehicles.
It's a two-seater, right? So the two of you can go. Hollis could fit if you wanted to, right? He'd have to bring the junky old Charisse, and
no one.
I mean, he did take it to the, Imperial Plaza or wherever they met for the storm ship, and maybe Jag and Kayla's with them too, possibly? Question mark. I don't know.
That's a good point. You do, you've got your cohort. Are they? Yeah. I mean, we can kind of decide with our later.
Sort of flashbacky, just decide if they're there or not. But
we don't have to place them now. But
yeah,
I mean, I guess they don't fit in the two-seater, but they could have arrived. We can leave that up in the air a little bit. But so Duskfall, midnight. I think we start on the airship. The glittering lights of the city far, far below. And Hollis, you are on this airship, the Storm Surge, kind of a Zeppelin type thing, but with sort of a mid-century, pretty flash-looking airship. It's got a nice paint job, much more impressive than your van.
For many reasons, yeah.
Yeah. And you are currently in the cargo bay, which is pretty huge. It's got that kind of cargo netting along the side, like the inside of a like a military plane or something. So you might be having flashbacks from that.
Yeah.
And you're just surrounded by like piles and piles of bricks of white powder, which is White Lotus, the refined Black Lotus. Just thousands of stacks worth of drugs. And there are several armed thugs. These are Scorpion Syndicate goons, and they're in powder blue jumpsuits, and they've got semi-automatic weapons, which are pretty restricted. I mean, you carry those yourself, but that's pretty rare to have that kind of weaponry.
Right. I carry them because I have military contacts, right? Like, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And you would have been searched, so just for future reference, I don't think you would have any weaponry on you unless you want to flash back to sneaking it in, or you have something concealed or something of that nature.
Okay.
But by default, you probably are not carrying like a submachine gun yourself, for example.
Right.
But we'll see. So there are several of these armed sort of goons in the powder blue jumpsuits, and there's this mid-level lieutenant who's a Severosi man, kind of on the short side, and he's got red hair, and everyone on the airship is quite sweaty. It's quite hot. They've got a nice 60s kind of sheen of sweat.
Oh yeah, thank you. Opening to Top Gun, where every single person is drenched in sweat. Aircraft carrier.
Movie was so sweaty. Why were they so sweaty all the time?
So sweaty. I mean, Hollis is 100% sweating along with. He's just
nice. Yeah, got a good dramatic sweat.
Yeah.
And he is explaining the distribution pipeline to you, as well as kind of the specifics of how the airship works and their setup and all the details of that. Is Hollis interested in this stuff, or is he just kind of?
I mean, he's interested in like what kind of intel they could get on military target, like how the ship could be used for sort of other purposes. But he's savvy enough to know that like asking them, "Hey, what secrets could you get from the palace with this thing?" is not really in their interest. So he's asking questions along the lines of like, yeah, what's your range? What's the capacity? The capacity? All questions that could be about drug moving, but he's really trying to find out about whether or not Scorpion Syndicate might sort of incidentally have information that they could use to make a hit, to do some sort of sabotage on Lusk.
Perfect. And so then Kitty and Cross, it's a good 70s cop duo name or something.
Kitty and Cross.
You over on White Crown, and I think we just cut to you straight in the lair. It's very mid-century. It's not one of the older mansions here. It's a lot of white and steel and glass, and you are in a sort of you've been given a tour of the lair, not all of it obviously, but by an underling, and you are currently in the kind of a main lounge area. There is actually a sunken conversation pit. There's shag carpet.
Kitty's so envious.
Yeah.
She just runs her hands over the plush. She's like, oh, it's so nice.
There's water ceiling to floor, glazing along one wall, and you can see the channel beyond and the lights of the city beyond that. It's like a floating fireplace, I think, and some of those 60s pod chairs that kind of hang from the ceiling. Very tasteful mood lighting as well, I would say. And I guess the thing of note is that in the middle of the room, in this sort of conversation pit area, that's cool, is a huge white tiger, like a sort of Siegfried and Roy, entertainment tiger.
Dang,
very
yeah.
large. It has a collar around its neck, and it is basically chained to the center of this to this conversation pit. This is quite a large room, so you're not in any danger at the moment.
Mo, if we don't see this tiger by the end of this scene,
Kitty's wants to pet the tiger so badly.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Good to know. We'll figure it out.
And in comes Chago. At this point, you would have been offered drinks. Did you accept any drinks? What are you drinking?
Absolutely.
What are you having?
Oh, I guess I gotta be professional. So maybe a bubbly, maybe some champagne.
Yeah, champagne. Nice. That fits. How about Cross?
Cross isn't doing on the job.
Yeah, that also fits.
Water.
And your champagne is getting a little low, and the sleek doors open, and in comes a Severosi man, maybe in his 50s, late 50s, very handsome. He looks like Ricardo Montalban. I've got an image here.
Oh, behind.
In the roll.
Oh, wait, no, I clicked on it. Wait, where to
go? He's wearing a nice suit. In this, though, he's wearing a powder blue suit, a pastel blue. But he comes in and he has the bottle of champagne, and he comes over to fill your glass, and he offers to shake your hand and says, I'm so glad you could make it. It's always wonderful to meet new friends. Sorry, what outfit were you with? This is directed at, I think you were directed to Cross as the older person here.
What's the name of our outfit? We're with the Dustfall Association Against War.
You can see him suppress a little eye roll, but then he smiles broadly and says, oh, of course, yes. Always wonderful to make new friends. I hope you can appreciate my latest acquisition. And he gestures to the tiger.
She is so beautiful. Quite a rare treat. Where'd you pick her up?
She comes from Severos, the Deathlands, actually. Very dangerous.
What do you feed her?
Oh, well, that is a secret. But all's very legal and normal, I assure you. And then we cut back to the airship where Hollis is on this tour, and you are thrown off your feet. There's an explosion somewhere else on the airship.
Oh, no.
Everything happens very quickly. Your ears are ringing. There's a gaping hole in the hull of the cargo bay, black smoke billowing out. You can hear that sort of just the ominous sound of the hull of this airship, like groaning and creaking as it sort of pulls apart under its own lack of integrity. There's black smoke billowing out of this hole as the whole place rapidly decompresses. All these goons and that lieutenant, they're all gone by the time you open your eyes. So you're in here alone. You've grabbed onto some of that cargo rigging.
I think reflexively, I think this is a horrible flashback moment for Hollis of dealing with explosions in the Dagger Isles. I think reflexively, Hollis actually would have grabbed one of those guys, but he could have been ripped out of his hands by the force of it.
No.
I would have tried to stop somebody from flying out, but have failed.
Yeah, I love that.
And I don't think my blades are great at sudden changes, so they're fine at balancing if I'm ready. But they completely slipped out from underneath me. Yeah,
I love that flashback of Hollis once again trying and failing to save someone.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I think the only reason Hollis probably didn't fall is not that he grabbed the net. I think his leg blade got caught in the net. And that's why he is spared from all the other guys just slipped out. I think his spark tech got snagged in there.
Perfect.
If that's okay to.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to stay with you for a bit. What do you do next? I mean, product is flying past you everywhere. A lot of money's worth. I don't know if you're the kind of person who would try and grab any of that, or if you've got other things on your mind.
No. I am crawling, grabbing the cargo net, pulling my way to try and get to the cockpit. To try and see if we can be righted. Well, actually, let me take that back. Are there parachutes that are just like hanging out?
Yeah, let's paint the picture a bit more. So firstly, there could be an action roll here, right? To try and find a parachute, but nothing obvious.
Okay, then
what I would also say is this is a very large airship. So there's like a hallway, there's multiple rooms, kind of submarine size, this part down the bottom. Yeah. So to get up to the cockpit, you have to leave the cargo bay and then make your way along the corridor and then.
Yeah. I think the struggle is me, fighting against gravity, fighting against the air being pulled out, grabbing hold of untangling my blades from the netting, and then moving my way. The intent is to get to the cockpit to try and right the ship, or at least land it safely, or something like that, or to help whoever's there to land it safely. So I'm trying to get in. Yeah, I think moving to the cockpit. If I look around, there's no parachutes. I think I'm vaguely aware of that's like so much money that's flying out the door, but he's in a panic state, right? Well, not a panic state, but like in a survival state right now. So yeah, I want to make my way to the cockpit.
Okay, great. I'm gonna put actually let's not do that one. One moment. I'm just gonna add a clock. I'm gonna add a 6 o'clock. I'll just call this. Let's just call it airship explodes.
Oh, that's a bad clock.
And we'll just tick it once because there's been a big explosion already. So
yeah.
Oh my god, this clock's so cool.
I love a clock.
No, I'm talking about the design. I mean, I love clock.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, you got that clock. I think there should be a first roll, an action roll.
Yeah.
Actually using.
Prowl is the move for general athletics, and I think that's what's going on right now. So Prowl covers running, jumping, climbing, swimming. I'm climbing and dig my way towards the cockpit. And I think I've been in aerial carriers before in military deployments, and I think I know the way, at least in general. I mean, it's definitely to the front, so you have visibility. So I'm moving my way, climbing. Despite, I imagine shit's flying at me, trying to knock me off. My course, the airship is, I'm sure, flying erratically. So yeah, what's my position effect to prowl?
Great question. I think it's risky. That feels right to me. I think the threat or consequence here, the risk is time, which is the airship explodes clock. The longer this takes, the more danger there is that the whole airship explodes. So I think that's kind of what's on the table. I think. You're saying the airships well. I think otherwise it would be limited effect, but I think standard effect with your background knowledge and your background and everything.
Risky standard.
Does that seem right to you?
That feels right. I think he's not he's shaken, but he's not entirely out of his element here. I wonder if I can ask for a devil's bargain. I have something in mind.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I think Thiago, as the owner of all this money, of all this stuff, would probably not be happy. But it might, if I pulled a release that let even more of this cargo go flying out the hole, it could clear the path for me to get there. If I just, if I just pulled one of the cargo nets that was holding back thousands of stacks of White Lotus. The advantage is that then I wouldn't have to climb over it, and
that's true. And maybe even if that's weighing down the back of the ship, maybe
it's weighing down the ship 100%. Yeah.
It starts to right itself.
Not that anyone could ever blame me for doing such a thing in this situation, but I think that's
all right. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, you eject that absolutely. Okay. So that's prowl. You can push yourself if you want. You've taken the devil's bargain. So
I'm taking the devil's bargain, and I feel like the standard effect is if I succeed, I will get there, right? So
that's right.
I don't feel like I need to push for effect. So let's go. Let's do it. First roll of game.
Yeah, sorry, you go.
Prowl, risky, standard, 1 bonus die for devil's bargain. Huzzah!
Look at that. Nice. 6.
Just roll 6s.
Easy.
That's all you gotta do.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, you just gotta roll 6. That's not hard at all.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Describe the rest of that. As you say, you make it up the whole way into the cockpit.
I think Hollis grabs hold of the guy that's flying out and is straining so hard, and then is eventually just it's you or me, buddy, and lets him go. It's I can't. If I hold on to you, you're gonna take me with you, and just lets him go, hitting my deadlock, and then it's sort of like army crawling up the cargo nets, realizes that there's all this product in his way, and pulls a release, and it goes flying, and then now he has this tether of cargo net climbs his way up to, until eventually he tumble rolls into the not like a cool ninja roll, stumble fall collapses into the cockpit and slams the door behind him to prevent the air pressure from pulling him back. It's the fight to get the door closed.
Yeah. So then you slam that door shut and you're in the hallway. At the end of the hallway is the cockpit.
Cool.
But of note is that in the hallway is another of these. You recognize now the slightly different uniform of the Scorpion Syndicate lieutenants. This is another Severosi woman. She's been shot in the back and she's dead in the hallway. And in her hands on the floor is a briefcase.
Take it.
And on the briefcase is the seal or symbol of the Ministry of Discovery.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. Okay, he didn't care about drugs, but or drug money, but Ministry of Discovery is not one of their targets, is definitely involved in all of this stuff.
Military industrial complex, right?
100%. The Ministry of Discovery developed the technology that we use to commit the latest atrocities. 100%. They're 100. They're totally involved in all this. I think he, because he's closed the door, so the air pressure isn't pulling him back. He sort of sprints. We see the Spark Tech leg blades, spark and launch him forward. And I snatch up the briefcase. I don't think in this moment I want to try and look into it, but I'm going to grab a hold of it. And does she have a gun on her? Does she have a weapon?
Yeah, she wasn't holding it. As I say, she was shot in the back. But yeah, she has one of these submachine guns. And for simplicity, let's just say it's one of the ones you already have on your sheet, and you can just mark it. The light machine coil gun.
All right, great. So I'm gonna take the briefcase in one hand and unholster her gun in the other, and start now very cautiously moving. I don't think I need to be too quiet because I'm sure there's tons of noise of decompression and alarms going off, but I don't want to be, walk into a room and get shot immediately. So I'm very cautiously moving my way towards the cockpit, looking for the would-be shooter with,
and this isn't a regular score, but why don't you just mark your approach as quiet, just because I think you wouldn't be laden down for this kind of...
I don't think I brought much of anything.
Exactly, yeah. So quiet. Just mark, so you got 3 load basically, and this will still count even though you just scavenged it.
Right. You said this was a light machine coil gun, LMC?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'll
just mark that off. Back with the others. At the same time as this is going on, you do have, I think you all have radio handsets, so at some point you can communicate, even though you're in different areas. But
we have range on that?
I think that's enough range for this, yeah. I mean, the airship is probably roughly above where you are.
Oh.
And there's no obstacles in between. So
be nice if conveniently it was right outside the window.
We're just chatting, all of a sudden there's an explosion in the skyline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think what does happen is Chago's making small talk, and his sort of main lieutenant and henchwoman, who's a Severosi woman called Dorji Khan. She's like a classic Bond hench person. So she goes by she, they pronouns. She wears black jumpsuits, and she's very serious and doesn't talk a lot, and has massive arms.
I love her.
She's very good.
So she comes in and just walks confidently up to Chago and says something in his ear that you don't catch. And his face kind of drops. And then he puts a smile back on. And he says to you two, please wait right here. I must attend to something. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
And he goes to leave with them.
And I think as soon as the door's shut, I think Kitty turns to Cross and she's like, so how are we getting this cat out of here?
So I was thinking, so there's the windows, but we're rather high up, and I just we're not going to be able to convince the cat to jump.
Also, how do we convince the cat not to eat us?
Well, that I don't know. Because we don't know what it eats.
Tricky one. I know you've already chosen militants, but maybe you should be dealers who specialize in free and exotic animals.
We're switching this all. Let's rewind the last 2 hours. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah. It's all a risky facility.
It can't fit in my car. It cannot fit in my car.
It can't fit in the back?
Not Scarlet, no.
Well, we can't. Hollis is out. We can't get Hollis to come by with the van.
Ugh,
you could have Jag. Clearly, Jag
and Kayla.
And Kayla are not with me. Clearly, that's not the case. So Jag and Kayla could be outside with the van.
You just radio them. Hey, can you bring the van around and pick up a giant tiger?
Yeah. Radio them. Tell them to get the van ready. So there's one of 2 options. We could just unleash it and leave. See what happens. Might not end up well for the tiger. We could just walk it out like a dog on a walk.
Have you walked a dog that big?
Yes.
Your dog is not that. What is your dog's name, by the way?
I named him Duke.
Duke. I love Duke. Duke is not that big.
Duke is pretty big.
Duke is a little baby angel, okay?
Duke is not as big as a tiger, but I'm just saying Duke is pretty big, and obviously this tiger is tamed-ish, and maybe if we just...
Why is there the clock?
No, don't worry about that. While you're having this argument, the collar that it's wearing, you notice it has a little like transceiver on it, and the little red light flashes once and beeps, and then the collar falls off, and the tiger doesn't immediately do anything, but it just sort of raises that massive white head and just sort of regards you in the way that cats do.
We've been set up.
And then it yawns. And then some hidden loudspeakers come on, and a voice says, voice you don't recognize, it's not Jago. They say, your associate has been involved in sabotage on our airship. We're looking into it, but we do have to ask that you remain put. As long as you don't make any sudden movements, you should be fine. And then they crackle off.
Okay, so we need to discuss our relationship with the tiger right now.
I just slowly pull the radio up and I call for the van I brought around the corner for the cat, just in case. I don't know like how the radio set thing is, but I assume it's like in a lapel situation.
I like that.
Yeah, what is our jumping out the window likelihood situation? I'm gonna start looking around for points of
exits.
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think just off, without any roll involved, the place you're in, you know that it's cantilevered, and so there is water directly below. It's the channel. But if you imagine like a tall sort of cliffside mansion cantilevered out over the water, it's pretty far drop to the freezing void water of the North Hook Channel. But that's certainly an option. If you want to take an action here to kind of assess that, I think that would make sense.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I could study, or would it be survey? Maybe survey.
I feel like study is looking at something more specific. Like if you wanted to figure out specifically about the window option, that might be a study, and survey feels more like casting your eye about for multiple options. But
I'll survey. Yeah, I don't like the water option.
And like, would I remember how long it took us to get from car to front door to where we are now?
Good question. I mean, you're on a tour, so it was kind of the slow version.
I probably am very confused because we did a lap and.
I mean, I will say it's not like a vast like facility or anything. It's just like a person's residential mansion. So
yeah, but this is Kitty we're talking about. Like, so
but if that's the kind of thing Kitty would know, you could certainly assist on this survey.
Yeah, let's do that. Let me assist.
That sounds great. If that was something you were paying attention to.
Yeah. So I give 2 stress to give like a dice, right? Or is it
just 1 to assist?
Just 1. Yep.
All right.
So all right. You have to remind me what I'm clicking here to roll.
You click on survey, the word itself.
Yeah.
And then it'll give you a little like prompt as to position and effect.
Cool. What's my position?
And just to key off that, so you've got 1 dot in survey.
Yeah.
That's great. So, but you do get experience if you ever use a 0 dot action. So don't be afraid to do stuff you're bad at.
Right.
And you can put that XP anywhere, not just in that track. Just thought I'd mention that. Position and effect. Position is risky because there's a giant tiger off the leash in the room, and I think that is kind of the threat here. Is this tiger might become, you could end up in a desperate position. Is what I would say.
Right.
And the effect, standard effect. I mean, you will figure out some options. I guess is what I would say on a.
And I'm getting a bonus die.
Yep, and you could. Push yourself, or you could take a devil's bargain if you want.
No, I'll just see what happens with the bonus die.
Great. Oh.
There's no way out.
I mean, I think.
Sorry, I don't know how to get us out of here. The only way out, the only way is through the window.
I doubt that. I am not. Do you know what I'm wearing right now? Do you know who designed this? I'm not getting it wet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is you don't see any like a handy vent or anything like that. There's the doors that Chaco and the others and that you came through back into the hallway, and there's the window that you already know about. So you don't get anything new. And further, I think the consequence here is that you slip into a desperate position as the tiger. You're having this argument, and the tiger sort of takes notice and does that ominous cat thing of like doing the stretch. as it gets to its feet.
Big stretch. I have a question. Were we given like hors d'oeuvres or any snacks with the drinks, or was it just drinks?
Oh, absolutely. What kind of hors d'oeuvres did you go?
I was just thinking, like, you know, like meat cracker situation, like a charcuterie board. Mm-hmm. So I have a pocket full of sleeping pills, and I think Kitty's like, I think she sees the cat's coming closer, so she reaches for like slowly reaches into her purse, which is like a little clamshell situation, pulls out the sleeping pills, grabs some like meat, and like wraps the meat up, like, you know, pockets the pills. And it's like, here you go, sweetie. Oh, it's so good. And like tosses it to the cat, hopefully, for the cat to eat.
I love this so much. Someone who struggles to get his dog to take his pills every goddamn day. Please succeed in this, please.
I don't even know what this is.
Please.
I love it. Yeah, you have the sleeping pills. You have the hors d'oeuvres. What action are you?
Yeah.
Oh God, what would this
Sway?
be?
I think it's sway. It's totally.
I can see a sway. I can see a finesse for sure. Yeah.
Let's do sway, because I am trying to be like persuasive of like, oh my God, look at the meats.
Yeah. You're making those cat noises.
Okay.
Here, kitty. How do I roll this thing? Is it just I hit the word?
Yes, hit the word.
Yeah.
And then it'll go through.
So
we're in a desperate position.
Oh, desperate. Oh boy.
yeah, desperate now.
Yeah. Kitty's hungry.
Yeah. You mark one experience wherever you want. You can move it later, so don't stress about that. But so the experience dots are above the thing there. So you get experience for that. It's going to be desperate. Okay. I think just standard effect. I think usually you'll be at limited effect against a giant tiger, but you've got the sleeping pills.
Yeah.
You've got the hors d'oeuvres. You know that all feels right to me. So I'd say standard effect. This is going to be ticks on the tiger clock. So the clock is to deal with the tiger one way or another.
Yeah.
So standard effects means two ticks. So if you pull this off, the tiger will be starting to get sleepy, but it's not going to completely knock it out. But there are other options. You could push yourself to increase your effect to great. So there'll be 3 ticks on the clock. You could, you might roll a crit, which would also increase the effect. Are you helping Cross, or are these the kind of shenanigans that Cross does not?
Oh my God. I'll help. Because Cross is out of ideas right now and starting to panic a little.
How does Cross help?
I think
this Cross also you have nerves like saying like, oh yes, it is very good.
Yeah, I think Cross will help and you know, like toss a little bit of the food to the tiger first, like get it interested.
Like make a little like trail of meat.
Yeah. Away from us, but still like getting it hungry. Okay, so perfect. I spend 2 stress for that?
1 stress for that.
That's fine.
1 stress. Sweet.
Hey Mo, are you do you want to take a devil's bargain and push yourself for 2 stress for another bonus die on top?
What's a devil's bargain?
What is a devil's bargain? If anyone else has any ideas, I'm totally always happy to hear devil's bargains ideas. I feel like the level 1 harm stressed is like an easy option.
You're willing to get close, but it stresses you out.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Yeah. So I think, I think he just like slipping off the couch slowly and just like scooting over like on like her knees. Like she's wearing like one of those A-line like short skirts. So like she's like in her high boots, just like here, kitty, just like reaching out trying to feed the cat.
Love it. Okay, so desperate, standard, 2 bonus die. Okay. Just type in the level 1 box on your harm. Yeah, you got it there. Stressed, perfect.
I did it for you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh.
Well, you got a 5. You did it.
All right.
I did it.
You did it.
You did it.
Yep.
Sweet.
You did it. Didn't go perfectly, but you did it.
I'm very stressed.
You are very stressed.
Maybe the cat like licked my fingers and I was just like, huh. Just like okay.
Desperate with so you did it. So I'm going to put the ticks on the clock here. So that's 2 ticks on the clock. So the cat takes it. I think a couple of other things happen here. One is I don't think the cat like immediately attacks, but this was a desperate position this cat is kept kind of hungry. And I don't know if you've ever watched like Siegfried and Roy or any of those like 60s and 70s movies with live animals where it's clear that the animal training wasn't great, and your teeth, or even what's it called? Is it Tiger King? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of thing where someone's like Joe Exotic, dealing with big animals, and it's clearly not that safe. I think it's that thing of like the cat's getting a bit too frisky, and it's not like trying to kill you yet, but it is.
Yet.
Yeah, well, they're sitting on the cards,
Is
right?
Kitty pinned by this cat?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it pushes
irony.
you back, and it's just doing that thing of like it's kind of playing with you, but it's a huge cat with sharp claws. So I do think you take some level 2 harm here.
Oh no.
Just level 2 harm clawed. It's like biting your hand and clawing at you,
Oh,
kind of
no.
playfully, but again, it's a big cat.
I'm just
So
like, we're playing. Ow, okay.
exactly.
And I'm just like looking, like trying to like look at it, look at Cross, look at it, like help me.
You can resist if you want.
Yes.
But you could also.
How does resist work again?
So I think in this case it would be a prowess resist. It's a case of trying to keep like pushing the cat off a bit so it doesn't slightly maul you. So you would click prowess.
Do
and
we
that's
have something about resisting in our faction?
We didn't take
yeah.
We didn't take
Okay.
gorillas. We did take the thing that gives us bonus resist. That's
So the way resistance is it's one of your attributes. So it's either insight, prowess, or resolve. And you roll a number of dice equal to everything you have at least 1 dot in. So for you, for prowess, you have 1 dot in finesse and 1 in prowl. So you'd roll 2 dice, and it's 6 minus the highest result. So you want to roll high, and it's going to cost less stress. So it always works, but it's just how much stress it takes.
So I just click prowess and I
click
go.
prowess. And
just click prowess. No bonus die.
Okay.
And it'll tell you.
Okay.
So you take 6 minus 4, so 2 stress.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Now you can resist multiple times. So if you want, you can just do that again to get rid of that harm entirely, in which case the cat does not maul you.
Yeah.
Or you can just take the level 1 harm scratched.
Let's just take level 1 harm scratched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you already got level 1 harm, so having multiple level 1 harms,
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, perfect. So you are stressed and scratched. The cat is getting a bit frisky, and it is kind of pinned Kitty. This is a confusing scene, actually. The cat has pinned Kitty down.
Kitty cat has pinned.
Cat pinned Kitty. I don't know. Yeah.
Cross, you see this going on. You also hear boots in the hallway, so people are coming. Not like right outside the door, but you're in a high pressure situation. I think before we cut back to Hollis, what do you two want to do? Does anyone have another action they want to take here?
If I hear boots coming down the hall, I think I want to position myself out of direct line of sight for when the door opens. So I'm going to move to be kind of alongside that wall.
Okay, perfect. I don't feel like that needs a roll. You can just be there. So you're just moving away from the tiger situation, or?
I'm moving away from the tiger situation a little bit. I think it might be time to pull out.
You're just going to trust that Kitty's got this under control?
Kitty does not have this under control. I'm not going in there. Yeah, if I came in here and was able to be armed, I think I would definitely be pulling a weapon right now for whoever's coming through that door.
Do you have a concealed weapon of sorts, or?
I have a fine snub-nosed hand cannon.
Which the description does say packs a hell of a punch and can be concealed in a pocket.
Yeah.
So I think that tracks. So you slip that out and get ready to take a shot or something.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Well, let's stay with Kitty for a second then. What are you doing about this tiger on you?
I mean, what can you do with a tiger that's ready to eat your face? Just try to keep it calm and oh my god, that was so good, nom nom nom, and just being take effect pills, because she basically took her whole handful of her whole arsenal of drugs and threw it into the cat.
It seems like you just need to get it to wait for them to take effect at this point, right? It doesn't have time more. You just need to
you're just calling for time.
Yeah, so I think I'm just trying to slowly scoot away and
scratch
get out the way. and just trying to oh, do I pet it? No. Oh.
Duke really likes being scratched behind the ears. Try scratching him behind the ears.
The Crocy in her is coming out and wants to pet the cat.
Great. What action are you using for this as you try to buy time?
God. Okay. If I want to avoid, be prowl or finesse. But if I want to keep it calm,
you consorting with it.
Consort. Yeah, I think consort's probably the good one.
Just consorting with a tiger.
Yeah, just chilling. We're buds now, right? Like, look at these
I like that you started
scratches.
with the sway, but now you're up to the consort. Like,
Yeah.
you move through the stages of friendship.
Yeah.
This is
perfect. All right, why don't you hit consort there? Is cross helping here? It doesn't sound like it, does it?
No,
I don't think so. Okay, great.
Can't help with
do you want to push yourself for another Devil's Bargain?
It's also desperate again, right?
I think it's down to risky now. You got some pills in there. It's taking effect. The cat sleepy. I think it is less of a desperate situation.
I think.
Did you mark an XP for the last desperate action you rolled?
Yeah, I put it in my XP area down at the bottom.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Just I think that's where you collect them, right? And then
you can put them anywhere you want. You can put them there, or that'll get you into a special ability eventually, or you can put it on any attribute track.
Oh, I just put it there just to hold it. Just
hold it there, and you can move it.
You can just leave it there for holding.
Yeah, I just you stay here right now. I'll come back to you later.
Yeah, that's
it's
perfect.
Fine. Yeah.
So consort, it's risky, standard. I mean, if this works, the tiger will be asleep.
I think because of the situation, I'm going to push myself just because it is a little stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's two stress then instead of one, but
I did that. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Nice. Okay. So that's pretty much it. One bonus die. What's your special ability again?
Oh, it's just talking about NPCs and doing things.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
nice.
6.
Oh,
yes.
Nice. Good timing.
Oh, God,
tell us how that goes.
Okay. Happens? So yeah, I think Kitty's just like, oh my God, you're such a pretty baby, and it's just like sees the cat starting to get I guess a little lethargic. Like it's still it has some consciousness to it, but it's getting probably slowing down a little bit. So she slowly reaches out and pets it. She's like, oh, you're so soft, and we'll start petting its head and playing with its ears and just sort of trying to soothe it to go to sleep and help and also try to move to the side so I'm not in mouth maw or
you're not underneath it anymore.
Yeah. I'm just a little out of the way.
Love it.
But her dress, the one she was worried about getting wet, it's kind of got a big slash in the middle of it now, and it's just
oh no.
I know.
Yeah, and you all are tier 0, so it's not like you're your lifestyle quality is not that high. It's not that easy to replace it.
Yeah.
You can't go back to daddy. It's not trivial to go back to dad for a new dress anymore.
Yeah, it's meaningful. Great. The tiger finally just settles down and is now snoring loudly. Just a big, heavy, white lump on the
Kitty,
carpet.
I don't think we're gonna get the tiger out today. I think we should.
Oh. Yeah, but we can get out now.
Perfect.
I give it one last pet, and I'm just all right, we're just going on.
I think on a partial success, they would have kicked in the door, but that didn't happen. So you do have another beat here, but I think we'll cut back to you in a moment, and let's cut back to Hollis because it's been a minute. So Hollis, you have this briefcase in hand. You have the light machine coil gun in your other hand.
Yeah.
You're on this
question. When I was invited out here, was this here's tactical important information that you could learn, or was this a social call? It matters about the scarf I'd be wearing.
What?
I think even though it had a technical feel, it was more of a social call.
It was more of a social call.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice. Perfect.
Just making sure Hollis is dressed accordingly. Okay.
Important. Very important.
All right. There we go. Yeah. So, light coil gun in hand, briefcase tucked against the side, scooching. Any indication from the way the woman fell where the shooter was? Were they in the cockpit? Were they somewhere else? Can I tell any kind of idea of where they might be?
Is that an action roll? Do you want to? I mean, how much information? Do you just want to know roughly where they came from?
Yeah, roughly is fine.
All right, cool. From the cockpit sort of direction, definitely.
Great. That's sort of what I was thinking. All right.
Yep.
Scooching up to the cockpit. The goal is to get to the door and be able to see what's going on inside, and before bursting in there and potentially being, shot myself.
Yeah, love it. I don't feel like we need another action roll there because you already got the success before. But as you progress up the hallway, again, the hull kind of creaking and groaning ominously. You hear kind of weird like pops and little miniature explosions and stuff. It's not a good vibe on this airship.
Yeah, all of them are very disturbing too. All of the explosions are,
And for you especially, because you kind of know what they all mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people who know what an avalanche sounds like before it comes. Before you get to the door, it slams open. And behind them, you see the cockpit, which is pretty small. There's room for like a pilot and a co-pilot, but it's not a huge space. Behind the person who opened the door, you can see the pilot in the chair, and they're clearly dead. They're slumped over.
Got it.
The person who opened the door has a small shooter, a gun in one hand. They're wearing a nice like gray woolen 3-piece suit, very well tailored. They're a woman with short blonde hair and these big kind of cool black, I've got a picture I'll show you in a second, but big like black circular-ish sunglasses. I'm thinking like Mia Farrow.
Oh, yeah.
And she seems very relaxed. Like the door opens, she sees you. Clearly she wasn't expecting you, gun in hand, one hand on the door. The airship kind of exploding around your ears. But she just gives like a half smile and says, well, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting company. That's my briefcase.
Yeah, I think I want to draw my gun on her so that she is, and if she has her firearm handy before her, happy to make a resistance roll if necessary to do that, or an action roll is appropriate. But, I want to put her in a position of hostage situation or of at least imminent danger should she.
I mean, you already had your gun out, so I think it's fair that you're in equal danger here, right?
Yeah.
Do you say anything while you're doing this?
Well, yeah, I think my goal is she comes out, and it's sort of almost it's basically a reflexive action to draw the gun, and it's almost a bit of a discipline to not pull the trigger immediately because it feels like an enemy combatant. I mean, that's the vibe. And I say, I think when she says, "You have that's my briefcase," it's like that's only when Hollis realizes that the situation he's in, and kind of, adjusts it slightly in his hands and says, "That seems to be up for debate."
She narrows her eyes and looks at her watch on her offhand and says, by my count, I think we have 2 minutes and 17 seconds before the whole place goes down in flames. Now, let's, no need for things to get hectic. Name's Bane. I'm with the palace. This is what she looks like. She says, name's Bane. I'm with the palace. This is for the good of crown and country. Just hand it over.
I'm Hollis, and my experience of the good and crown and country is it's the hell and the hell and the suffering of everyone else. I don't think so.
What action? I mean,
I think this is command. I feel like I'm like telling her, like, I've got a gun pointed at her. I have the drop on her in that regard. I have possession of what she wants. We're both just as vulnerable at this point to crashing and dying. I think I want her to be my captive for the time being till we can get parachutes. So yeah, I think I'm trying to command her into leading the way for us to get parachutes. With the idea being that if we both get parachutes, we will both leave here alive. If not, I will leave here alive.
And you want to hold on to the briefcase?
I definitely want to hold on to the briefcase, yeah.
Okay. So command, yep. So that's the action you're rolling. I think.
It feels like it's the only thing that
you
makes
should
sense.
mark XP. I think this is a desperate position, both because she's higher tier than you. She's from the palace, and you're in an airship that's currently exploding. So there's like multiple threats going on.
Sure.
I think there's the threat of the airship explodes clock. Like this is taking time. In effect, I'm just going to tick that up for time passing. And there's also the threat from this like highly trained, dangerous espionage professional.
Right. Like I feel like I've got the drop on her, but I feel like that might not mean anything. Like I think Collis thinks like, oh, I've got a gun pointed at you, which means I'm in control, but it doesn't seem like she thinks that is the case. Okay. So
desperate. I feel like, again, the tier difference, I think you're looking at limited effect by default. So I don't know if you want to push yourself up to standard to get everything you're hoping to get out of this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to push myself. I think
you do have that military discipline ability.
Oh, that's true. I do. Twice per scene, you may use your training to eliminate harm or to push yourself during a fight.
It's not quite a fight yet, but I feel like it sort of applies here, right?
Yeah. I would like a devil's bargain. And my devil's bargain is that I shoot over her head, which puts another hole in the window of the airship, which would add ticks to the airship going down, but would be scared, would show her that I mean what I fucking say.
Does that I love that.
Reasonable to you?
Oh, absolutely. That's wild. Yeah.
I mean, it's a stupid devil's bargain to take, but because this is a bad thing. But
a single shot above her head through like the cockpit glass.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm rolling command. I'm at desperate standard.
Are you pushing for effect or for the bonus?
I'm pushing for effect. Yeah.
Do you want to push again for the bonus die with military discipline, or what do you want to do?
You know what? I'll push. I have plenty of stress. I'll push again with just regular old stress.
Nice.
So I'm going to push for both effect to get to desperate standard and for.
Well, you took the devil's bargain for the +1D anyway, so.
Oh, right. I can't push myself for.
Yeah. So the push and the devil's bargain is the effect and the +1D. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's as much as I can get. There's nobody here to assist. Desperate standard.
Don't forget the experience.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh.
Just keep rolling sixes. Everything goes fine.
Amazing. Such an easy game.
Easy game. Talk shit, roll crit.
Cats, no.
So you shoot above her and she starts to take you a little bit more seriously. Are you imagining? I'm imagining this again with the tier difference that she would toss her gun. She's that kind of person. She tosses the gun and raises her hands.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not really picturing this as like you holding her with gun to the head, but more of her complying.
No, I think we're heading back to the cargo bay to where we think there's parachutes, unless she like clearly has a parachute on right now.
No, she does not.
Yeah, I think we're heading back to the cargo bay. I've got a gun pointed at her, but it's not like right at her head. And Hollis thinks he's in control. I don't think he's in control. I don't think Bane thinks he's in control. But at the moment, she's walking in front of him and her gun has been dropped to the ground. He has not picked it up because there's no need at this point. And they're walking back to the cargo bay as it's tossing and turning. And at any moment, he could lose his balance and his advantage could disappear. But that's what I think is happening.
Yeah. Rumbling airship. The whole thing's coming apart. So you're back in the cargo hold. Is that right?
I mean,
probably makes sense, right?
I think. Is there any other place where I imagine there would be?
This would be the best place to exit for sure.
Yeah, what's the place where there would be parachutes. Maybe there would be parachutes in the cockpit, honestly, for the pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think as the person who is tell me if I'm overstepping this command role, I think I tell her to grab them both, one for the pilot, one for the co-pilot, and toss me one, and we're going to put them on, which, again, putting on a parachute while trying to hold a gun and also a briefcase, like who knows when she could take advantage of an opportunity here. But I think that's the idea, is that we put on parachutes and then head towards the big hole in the cargo bay to jump out of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She accepts these instructions and gives a little half smile, like it's a child telling her what to do or something.
Right. I mean, I did get her a parachute. I wasn't like, I'm getting a parachute and you can figure out how to fly. Like I do at least look out for her.
She smiles and says, how very gentlemanly. Parachutes aren't in the cockpit. They're back in the cargo hold. Come with me. And she starts walking towards the cargo hold.
Yeah, I follow her.
Yeah. As you're walking, she looks back over her shoulder and says, so what outfit are you with? Blackthorn Park?
No, they hate me too. They hate us too.
You know my name. I feel like I'm at a disadvantage.
Oh, I thought I said my name. Yeah.
Did you? Oh, yeah, you did say I'm Hollis.
I think, I said I'm Hollis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hollis, former 53rd Regiment, currently against all of you bastards.
She smiles. You're in the cargo hold now. Again, the wind picking up because there's this big hole. I think when you release that mechanism that released the big stack of product, the what do you call, like the doors on a cargo hold, like the back end, the loading bay sort of thing, the ramp. That is open now, as well as the hole on the side.
Yeah, the cargo bay doors. I think that's
yeah. So those are open, and although you're kind of right at the ship, it is still on a bit of an angle. And she goes over to a panel by the door as you come in, wind roaring around your ears. She opens that and takes out 2 parachutes, one in each hand. Then you got a success here. So she's coming with you to the cargo hold. She's got the parachutes. She hands one out to you, and then she opens both hands and they go tumbling out the hold, and she runs to tackle you out.
You got to jump for it.
And the two of you
work.
Hold on, say that again. She hands one to me and then does what now?
She opens her hand to release both parachutes. She tosses them out the hold, so they're tumbling out into the sky.
Oh, I love it.
She's going to tackle you out too.
She's going to go out and dive for one, and then get it, and then put it on.
Yeah, easy. She tackles you, so the two of you are now also tumbling out.
You just got to roll 6,
I love this.
And I feel like we should cut there and come back to it.
Yeah, I think we both go flying out. And there's a part of me that's like, I could try to resist that, but that would be a terrible idea. I love the idea of flying out with her briefcase, gun, parachutes. Yeah. I was just to make it like kind of like one of those like spy intimate moments. I was going to be like, put it on me, so she had to get really close to she could choke me out. I don't know, any various opportunities. But I like that she's just like, no.
Yeah. She thinks she's better at this than you.
I mean, she is. Have you seen her sunglasses? I have a cool scarf, but
she's got very good sunglasses.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, let's leave it there, and next time we'll cut back. We've got Kitty and Cross in the lair. The tiger's asleep. There's the goons about to kick in the door, but they're all set for that situation. And we've got Hollis flying out the back of the airship with a palace spy and 2 parachutes all to play for. And we can finish that up next time, but maybe we'll just wrap up with XP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even look at the time. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's a great cliffhanger to end on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, why don't we start with Cross? Karen, do you want to go through your XP questions then?
Sure. I don't think I got too much, and that's okay. I didn't roll any desperate or 0-dot actions. I don't know if I hit my key. My key was sardonic.
I mean, that's up to you. I kind of feel like there was some sardonicism, but that's your call.
It was a little bit in character creation, but I mean that counts because this was the session.
Yeah, it's all in the session. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you were definitely cynical and we were talking about Hollis sharing his whole regrets and stories, and that you didn't want to hear that, but kind of got, because your drinking buddies got stuck into it. So yeah.
Sure, I'll take that. And then I addressed a challenge with talking or stubbornness. I did not talk to that tiger.
You did not. No.
Yeah, so I don't think that I addressed a challenge that way. That's okay. And I don't have a deadlock, so I didn't struggle with any issues of it. Okay. So I just got the 1 XP.
Okay, great. Put that wherever you like.
I marked your key as well, so that it charges up.
Yes, mark your key as well. Mo, Kitty. If you have your character sheet, right at the bottom is the XP questions.
So I did roll on a desperate, so I just put it here for the XP.
Yep.
Once per session, when you hit a key, mark 1.
You definitely were flamboyant.
Yeah, I think any, or also reckless.
Also reckless. Also playful, but you only get to pick one. But yeah,
I think we'll go with flamboyant for now.
Perfect. So then also put 1 XP mark wherever you want. Again,
okay, I'm just gonna. I want more things, so I'm gonna just go for this one. You address a challenge with charming, quick thinking. I think I did.
Oh yeah, 100% with the kitty. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Kitty, but with the cat, yes.
Yeah.
I even feel like you kind of smashed that, so I feel like 2 XP for that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll take that. And we haven't done any deadlocking, so that doesn't count.
And then Hollis.
All right, Hollis. Okay. I did do a desperate action, which I put in resolve, so I've got that up there. Once per session, hit when you mark 1 XP and mark the key. I added another key just from us. I'll talk about dancing and drinking buddies and all that stuff. And I took social.
Oh, that's fun.
Also, was my scarf choice of attending that. Bane may choke me out with this scarf in the next session.
It's quite puzzle.
But for right now, I'm going to mark social as and put and mark an XP for that. Oops, wrong scrolling. All right, at the end of it, you addressed a challenge with violence or discipline. I think I definitely addressed a challenge with discipline, and also with violence for that matter, by shooting over her head. And I think I did it a fair amount in terms of knowing the layout of an airship, and then making my way. I feel like I want to take 2 for that.
Yeah, 2 feels good. Yep, 100%. Did you hit your deadlock, or did that?
I did hit my deadlock. My deadlock is cold, and I specifically was like, "This person's gonna die."
Yeah,
I'm not protective of them. I am. Yeah. So
right.
1
for that as well.
Yeah, 1 for deadlock.
Nice.
Cool.
And then finally, crew XP. You didn't do a successful anything so far, so we'll skip that one. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Certainly.
We definitely did. Yeah.
I think a cat, like a tiger, might beast that. I don't know. I
feel like both of us have faced really, really, really dangerous situations and barely scraped through them. I feel like.
I mean, we haven't survived them yet, so
I think we should take 2 XP for that. The cat.
Yeah.
The explosion.
1 for each of us. 1 for each happening.
I mean, you could take. It says mark 2 if it occurred multiple times.
Yeah.
And I definitely.
It did. Yeah.
I agree. Bolster your crew's reputation, which is dishonorable, or develop a new one.
I told Bane straight up, I used to be part of the regiment, and now I've turned against all of you. I was very honest about being I'm part of the military, and I've left, and I'm trying to fuck all of you over. And so I think dishonorable, at least once there.
Yeah, I think one for that sounds good. And then finally, goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
I don't know if it came up.
Yeah.
I think the decision that the kitty was an important thing points to the drives and the nature of the crew.
Yeah, that first we wanted to save the cat, and then we're like,
yeah,
we had to abandon on that. But originally, we
still a discussion of like what was important here. It wasn't like, oh, this place is nice. It's like we got to save this kitty. Yeah.
Yeah, there, and I also feel like the decision not to grab any product sort of says something about the sort of militants you are. Like, you're not the kind of people who, CIA style will like sell. You're not out there pushing drugs to fuel the revolution or whatever.
Right. Not yet.
We see what happens.
We haven't gotten desperate enough yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was pretty tempting when you're like, there's tons of stacks of White Lotus there, and I was like, Jesus, that's got to be worth so much. But yeah, it's not
cool.
Not
all right,
cool,
awesome. Let's wrap it there, and we'll pick up next time and do the back half of that. I feel like we're sort of coming to the end of that one, and then we'll move into personal business and go from there.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. This was an absolute blast. We made very cool characters. The Daw is a DAAW is we might change the name, but it would be utterly fitting if we change the name, because this is exactly the kind of organization that would be like, wait. Yeah. We need a name.
This is exactly what we're trying to do right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like this struggle is 100% the struggle we would have in fiction as well.
Yeah.
But yes, this is a blast. We're going to be back next week. Same bat time, same bat place. 6:30 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. We will finish up this score, jump into some personal business, see what some trouble is. Good stuff. I'm Sean. Let's all go around and just say our names and to do. I'm Sean. Thanks everybody for being here. How about you, Mo?
I'm Mo.
Maybe that was unnecessary. Bye all.
One last thing. If you're watching this and you want to join the playtest, it's ongoing. So just
that's important news. Yes.
If this was fun, you can do it too.
Yeah, exactly. Google Blade 68 or something. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's on the Eagle Hat website. It's all over the place. There's articles about it. Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. All right.
Cool. Awesome.
Bye all. See you later.